Hey guys, in this video, I'm gonna share with you guys how I make $100 an hour detailing in this particular situation with this Aston Martin. I also wanna talk to you guys a little bit about my business strategy as far as the particular clients that I target and really deep dive into that because that's really where the leverage and the profitability comes in the auto detailing world. So let's go ahead and get into it. As always, guys, I want to start with a little bit of context and make sure you stick around till the end of this video because at the end, I am going to let you guys know what animal the Aston Martin logo is based on, and it is not what you think. So if you guys are ever in a trivia game show and you need a little phone or street shout out, this is going to help you out. Now, that being said, this Aston Martin sticker price is about $230K, but my client actually got it for about $190 because, well, people know people, but this one comes with all of the bells and whistles, and I also included a little joyride that I went on with my customer before I detailed it out when I got to his house that morning that he took me on, and it was honestly pretty scary. I'm going to be honest with you, my heart was beating a little fast around some of those curves, but this Aston Martin handles like a champ, going even like 75 on some of these old country roads that we have in Middle Tennessee. It was pretty unbelievable, and I got a tiny snippet of that for you later on in this video. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of background here, what I'm doing simply with the wheels is I'm using P&S Brake Buster. I'm going to be using it on the tires and wheel wells as well. Simply using some brushes to knock off that surface dirt. These are very clean, so are the tires and wheel wells. Not going to take much time or effort whatsoever. I want to talk more about business in this video because this is really the crux of all of what I would consider the important detailing business strategies are in the detailing world. This car represents such an important aspect of my detailing business, and I want to explain why. The first thing I want to talk about here is the amount of time that my client here has been with me. This client has been a maintenance client of mine with several different vehicles for about the last 4.5 years. 4.5 years is quite a lot of time to not only be detailing for somebody, but also to build a relationship with somebody. And while this point sounds extremely simple, it is extremely overlooked in the detailing world, and it's why I feel a need to highlight it and emphasize it a bit here. I have spent the last 4.5 years detailing this client's not only the first Aston Martin that he bought, this one is actually the second, his BMW M6 as well as his Ford F-150, which is more the daily driver. And my only point in saying that really is that who do you think he is going to continue to call when he needs detailing done? Now, that being said, I would consider myself more an exclusive detailer now, so while I will still detail his cars, I really am not taking on new clients at this point, except for if they are very specific people, simply because of all of the other stuff that I have going on in my business right now. I don't have time to take on new clients. But people like this are people that I continue to detail for, especially because their vehicles make great videos, and he wanted me to include this in the video that I wanted to do anyways. The big point here is that 4.5 years is a fair amount of time, in my opinion, to have a healthy amount of maintenance clients. And so when I talk about building detailing businesses based on maintenance clientele, and that's actually the model that I'm using in the online course that I'm developing right now. I'm going to teach you guys in that course how to go from zero to at minimum $3,000 a month with maintenance clients, and teaching you guys very literally step by step that exact strategy. It's why this course is taking such a long time, because I'm trying to make it top notch. It's also going to be a very specific group of insider guys. Not everybody's going to be allowed in. It's going to be fairly exclusive. That being said, I just want you guys to know that I speak from a fair amount of experience, at least say about 5 to 6 years of having a healthy amount of maintenance clients. While this client did not come on until about 4.5 years ago, he has stayed with me for 4.5 years. I will tell you this. People like this who have this amount of money, and I'm not trying to be secretive, but I'm not trying to give away people's identity exactly. People like this who have this amount of money, who do what he does, don't just waste time with anybody. And I'm certainly not trying to toot my own horn here. I'm very simply saying, when I say that this is the kind of clientele I target, I mean it. And when I talk about you guys targeting this kind of clientele, I am speaking from years of experience, and I have done the other way. I have not targeted this kind of clientele. I've built businesses, or auto detailing, at least my auto detailing business, around a strategy that was not utilizing the things I talk about in videos like this. And I can tell you from years of experience and trial and error, this is what you want to do. You want to target, like I said, And while this is unusually specific, it doesn't have to be quite this specific. This particular client is an entrepreneur. He started a few different medical companies, and he also has a lot of different like kind of inside real estate investments going on as well. When he wants his vehicle detailed or anything detailed, he calls me. But even more than that, and this is the kicker, guys, and I know this sounds very simple, when his friends want their vehicles detailed, who do you think he is referring them to? And that is really the crux of where you experience exponential growth in the detailing world. So not only is it very important to understand online marketing, websites, things like that, at least at a surface level in order to do this well. But I will say in the auto detailing world, when it comes to building businesses around this kind of clientele, there is nothing quite like word of mouth. And I'm just speaking once again from many years of experience. You want to make it a priority to do whatever it takes to get yourself around people like this. Now, without harping on that too much, because I'm probably beating a dead horse at this point, I want to talk about how I make $100 an hour doing this kind of work. There's a couple things you need to know in order to understand this. Number one, this vehicle has a ceramic coating on it. Number two, I did not apply the ceramic coating. While my customer wanted me to apply the ceramic coating, because of my detailing business, because of my online business, and because of other things I was busy with, I just could not find the time to get the ceramic coating on this Aston Martin. But because he got someone else to put it on, who does he want to maintenance the coating? Here I am maintaining the ceramic coating. I'm actually not 100% sure which type of coating was put on it, but because this coating was put on the car, I want you guys to see not only how clean this vehicle already is, and I could talk for days about how you target people with clean vehicles, but I think I've made that point obvious at this point, not only how you do that, but also why you do that, okay? Obviously, this is not his daily driver. It stays incredibly clean, but what you're going to see as I'm spraying this foam soap and washing it off and doing an agitation wash is you are going to see how literally the foam wash alone will probably be sufficient to knock off any and all dirt from the surface. In my opinion, the agitation wash that, yes, I do in this situation is not even necessary. And I want you guys to focus in here as you're watching me wash this off. And just as a quick little context, I want to explain what I used. Number one, I'm using the Last soap in order to do an agitation wash. Number two, I'm using AM Details Wax Safe, Ceramic Safe, Snow Foam Wash. And then I'm using my Sunjo electric pressure washer as well, but I'm also going to be using the Last coat to top this vehicle. It's my favorite ceramic topper. It's really just does a fantastic job. Now you guys can see right here, I'm going to actually zoom in a couple different places so you can see the beading, but this alone encapsulated so much dirt. You could actually see the water beads turning black, particularly on the inside, the inner barrel of the wheel wells. But I want you guys to take note of this. Not only was it incredibly clean to begin with, but once again, I am barely going to have to do any particularly manual labor. I'm actually pulling up on the wash mitt as I'm pulling it across the paint, putting as little pressure as I possibly can, simply because the paint is in basically perfect condition. And so I am barely doing anything to the windows or the paint for that reason. Now, here's really the most important thing. I think when you title a video something like "Make $100 an hour auto detailing," you, number one, get a lot of cynical people and a lot of skeptics, because obviously I understand why you could be skeptical about that. The funny thing is, and really the screw with this whole kind of online world, is that I actually, technically speaking, net more than $100 an hour detailing vehicles like these and for clients like these, which actually make up most of my auto detailing business. While that is true, I hesitate making the title that because I think people tend to think it's clickbaity. It is also the reason why I've hesitated showing vehicles like this on the channel, because I think for most people it feels very unrelatable and they get discouraged watching this because they think, man, I haven't even started my business. How am I ever going to get there? Let me encourage you. A wash like this, believe it or not, actually takes me about 45 minutes. Now, when I video, it takes me a little bit longer, obviously, but $100 in 45 minutes, and let's say you do that 3 times a day,
because you have about 45 regular clients that you see on a monthly basis. Now, I didn't do the math in my head. That math is actually probably not correct. But let's say you have 50 regular clients on a monthly basis. They're all fairly wealthy people, like I'm talking about, who own vehicles just like this. And you can do exterior washes for them. In my experience, most men are more concerned with the exterior and most women tend to be more concerned with the interior. No, this is not a politically correct channel. I apologize if that offends you. That being said, this is what the reality of my world looks like these days. And the reason why I'm coming out with these videos right now is because I want to share kind of some of these inside things that I've not necessarily been forthcoming with, simply because I thought that it might cause a little skepticism, and I'm okay with that. The other reason is because I'm developing this course, I want to kind of leak some of these things out to share with you guys what this is going to include and what this is going to look like. So while I titled this video talking about making $100 an hour, if you've made it this far, it is actually more accurate to say you can gross more than $100 an hour. And how do I do it? Well, here's how I do it. The ceramic coating on this vehicle, on top of the fact that it's not a daily driver, on top of the fact that it's garage kept, means I put very little product in, very little effort in, and very little time in. Yes, this is possible. Yes, you can do it. Yes, I have a decade of detailing experience. Yes, a decade of building relationships with people, but I promise you can shorten the learning curve by educating yourself just like you're doing right now. And this is ultimately how I think it is the most, let's say, the wisest way to build profitability with an auto detailing business. Yes, the minivan, soccer mom cars, they come along, but no, building a business off of those, I do not think is wise. I also do not think it wise to build a business that is not dependable on dependable, regular, predictable cash flow. Now, real fast, I got to pull the Aston Martin into the garage, so I want you guys to see this. Now, while money isn't everything, nobody drives a car like that, even 3 feet like I just did into the garage with a frown on their face. I'll just let you know right now. Now, I'm going to top off this ceramic coating with the last coat. Like I said, guys, I love the last coat. It's a really fantastic ceramic topper, and you guys can see even on really, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of a vehicle, I will still use the last coat on it. It's really a great product, and I've used it on many, many, many different ceramics. But guys, this is one of the main strategies. Actually, probably about 35 to 40% of my regular maintenance clients actually do have ceramics on their car. You know what? Probably closer to 30%. That's probably a more accurate number. About 30% of my regular clients have ceramics on their car, and that is where you start to really get in the weeds of, what would I say, chopping down your time at really small levels that end up making a really big impact. What I mean very simply is that, say you could detail a vehicle in an hour and a half to an hour 45, but you could do it in 45 minutes with a ceramic coating on it, simply because of the condition that it maintains the car in. Keeps the car in. That 45 minutes that you're saving ends up, what would I say? It's not a linear growth. That's what I'm trying to explain. Your profitability doesn't grow linear when you begin to do things like that. You begin to grow exponentially, and I can probably talk about that more in a later video, as far as like probably put a visual, like a graph with it, so you guys can kind of understand what I'm saying. But I'm also using a really plush, just finishing towel that I got from carsupplieswarehouse.com. That's where I get a ton of my stuff. I'll hook up with all those links below once again. But guys, really the power here is the fact that I didn't have to take the time to put the ceramic coating on. And while yes, ceramic coatings are a very profitable thing to do, I do them all the time, I actually would rather build maintenance clients than focus on building a coatings business or anything like that, for a lot of different reasons that I can't get into necessarily in this time frame. But building maintenance clients on on top of everything else that I do, 100% is the most profitable way I have found to build a detailing business. Hands down, no questions asked. And the beautiful thing here is somebody else did the hard work as far as the coding was concerned, and now I just get to maintain it. And speaking of maintaining things, guys, if you've been hitting the thumbs up button, please keep hitting the thumbs up button if you like the content you're getting, because it does help this video in the YouTube algorithm and it gets this information to more people. So maintain the thumbs up button and destroy it below this video. And by the way, if you guys like this information, just leave a comment below and say yes so that I know that you like the info you're getting. And while I touched on this earlier, the connections that you will build by targeting your business, targeting people like this for your business, will give you an exponential growth pattern. And I'd love to hear in the comments below, can you relate to what I'm saying? Have you experienced that 80-20 rule that applies even to the detailing world, where 80% of your clients probably came from the 20% of something you did, or 20% of the people you know? I say it all the time, but that one client, that one person has the power to completely, radically change your business. And so even on that little joyride that we took before I started detailing, he started talking to me about introducing me to some guys who, drive top-notch cars, let's just say that. And so we're actually planning a time to go introduce me to those guys and talk about doing a lot of videos with their cars, a lot of details with their cars, because they're car guys. Once again, that one client has the power to change things in your auto detailing business dramatically. And I just really wanted to encourage you guys with that and show you how real that is, and tell you that in this course, I am seriously breaking this stuff down in a step-by-step, hours worth of a blueprint. Now, I'm also applying the last coat to the wheels. It works as a fantastic coating on the wheels as well. I could tell actually just from the water behavior that there was no coating put on the wheels. The ceramic coating was obviously put on the paint and the windows, as well as any of the trim, which I believe is fiberglass, but it was not put on the wheels whatsoever. So I am going to be coating that. Just as a quick recap, I did use the last coat to top the ceramic coating. I used the last coat soap as the agitation wash. I used AM Details Foam Cannon Wax Safe Snow Foam Soap. That is a mouthful. And right now I'm using Jax Wax's Super Shine Tire Shine, which works fantastically, though it is actually supposed to be sprayed and left. I didn't want to get overspray, so I'm using a microfiber applicator. And then very simply, I just used P&S Brake Buster, not Bead Maker, Brake Buster, to get rid of all that stuff. So here is the final result, guys. I'm going to hook up everything like I do as normal below. And like I promised, the Aston Martin logo looks like it's based off of the wings of some sort of like bird, but it's actually based off of the wings of a beetle in Egypt called the scarab beetle. So you guys can take that to the bank. Beautiful after result. Stick around for just one more second. You guys can see a little bit of the joyride we took and listen to the engine roar as we go down the road. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it.
All right, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Those are kind of the perks of building an auto detailing business and building a reputation, and why I love this business and why I think it's so profitable and such a good kickstart, especially for younger guys as well. Such a great first business to get into, especially if you're an entrepreneur, for so many different reasons. But the amount of connections that I've built with customers over the years that have really helped boost me into the business world is just unexplainable. I mean, it's really been amazing. So that being said, if you guys want to get any of the products I used on this Aston Martin, I'm going to hook up the products and the tools below in the YouTube description box. Of course, check out those links if you want to grab those. And guys, if you haven't yet subscribed to the Wilson Auto Detailing channel here on YouTube, but you like videos like this, then what are you doing? Just hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you get notified every time I publish a new video so you don't miss out. Guys, thank you for being involved. And as always, from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.